Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the regular season finale episode of the Hoosier State Instigators Season 2. I'm your host here, Frosty, with my man, Jakey Muffins. Jake, how you doing, man?
I am doing well. Final regular season game for the Instigators, trying to get it so we can improve our record from last season. So, big opportunity on the line here. And we face the Nashville Aces, one of the top ranked teams in the nation, but a team we have been able to defeat earlier this season.
Yeah, beat them in a triple overtime thriller earlier in the season. And now we face them at their home court. It is an alternate court. We had some scheduling issues, but got a court. So we'll be playing, I believe, at a community center there in Nashville. The Aces, like you said, nationally ranked in the top 10, having a really good season. So it's going to be a really big challenge for the Instigators. Meanwhile, the Instigators walk in 7-9, the exact same record they had at the end of last season, hoping to move to 8-9, playing an extra game this year. Jake, what do they got to do that? I know we're down. We only have 7 players. So what do we got to do to win this game?
Yeah, being down with 7 guys, you're going to have to execute very efficiently. Try to limit the turnovers. I know that's going to be difficult because of fatigue when it sets in. But ultimately, I think that's going to be one of the keys, as well as limiting the offensive rebounds for the Aces.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be tough. Miro, who played the game, remember we're playing these were back-to-back games. So Saturday they played that close game that they lost by a bucket to the Kings. And now they're going to play against the Aces the next day. Unfortunately, big man who's been a huge star for us, Miro, injured his knee in that game, is unable to play today. Which means Instigators go from 8 players to 7 players available, as we talked about earlier. So, we'll have, it's almost all guards. The biggest guy playing for us is rookie Steve Rogers, who started his first game last game. Looked pretty good. And then we're going to have Greg, Malcolm, JoJo, Damian, Wilburn. We're going to have LB and Levante Nelson, who's been a really good scoring threat for us. So, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, to your point, is going to be a key for us, and we're going to have to do it under man today. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be a good game. 2 really good teams. Obviously this doesn't impact any playoff seeding at all. We will play in the play-in game, the final next week, right? And we'll play either the Chicago Rebels or the Wisconsin Frost. Whoever wins out of those 2 teams will face us in the play-in final. Play-in final is the same game we lost in last year and just barely missed the playoffs. So we're hoping to win that game. But we can't look past this game. This is a great tune-up game for us for that game. And so what we'll do is let's go out to Nashville. Let's check out the game, see how it went. But before we do that, we're going to do what we always do on this channel, Jake. We're going to show you the ABA rules so that you're not confused. And that you understand what makes the ABA brand of basketball so exciting to watch. right, everybody, welcome out here to Nashville. The Aces taking on the Hoosier State Instigators. I got to tell you, Jake, just to start off, I always give an evaluation because I think it's important. Not a huge fan of the Aces uniforms. I like the front. I like the colors. What I don't like is they have this line that goes through their numbers. It works fine for most numbers, but number 11 looks like II. So for that, I'm going to give them a B. So we're about to start here. Starters: JoJo Hart, Captain America, Steve Rogers, the rookie getting his second straight start. LB with the start as he wins the tip off, and then Malcolm Martin, who just missed the three. That's off the Instigators, and we're off to a quick start here. 7 seconds gone already here in the first quarter. Biggest challenge here for the Instigators is going to be fatigue. We saw they played a really tough game against a really good team in the Kings, and now they were down a man in that game, only had 8 instead of the normal 12. Because of the injury, they only have 7 for this game, so even more so. So they got to come off a back-to-back 2 travel days, plus being down significant on the roster. So fatigue's going to be a big part of it. Let's see if they can keep up. Instigators get the rebound. JoJo Hart for 3. That's in and out. Nearly rebound by Martin. Instead, out of bounds by the Aces, and the Instigators will keep possession here. Ball out to Captain America, getting his second start of the season. Played really well last night. Vontae Nelson for 3. JoJo Hart with the rebound. Can't get the putback. Steve Rogers with the rebound. Back out to Martin. And the Instigators will take another 3 here. That's their 4th 3 in a row. And that, well, besides the tip in, and that goes in. Captain America gets the Instigators on the board first, 3-0. Nashville Aces, as we know, Jake, are really good at shooters. Another team that you just can't let get hot. We see the ball passed up as Boyd hits that one. Instigators up 5. Aces swinging it around the outside again. Good ball movement. Good defense by Captain America, though, and we get a foul on the Instigators. So the Aces will go to the line for 2 here. There's conversation going on over here on the bench as we get a real up-close look at the benches tonight, Jake. Not a ton of room to put the camera, but we found some. So we get a really close view of the side hoop as well as both benches. So good view for us. Aces hit the second shot. So they're on the board now. LB, it's definitely going to be up to some of these young legs to make sure they keep the Instigators in the game as fatigue sets in. Nelson misses the 3. Good rebound by Hart. LB, this is a lot of 3s to start, but the Instigators hit another one. 8-2 Instigators. I think we're going to see a lot of 3s tonight, Jake. 1, because the Instigators love to shoot 3s, and 2, they just don't have anything but guards out there. Maybe Captain America can play a small forward, but that's about it. And Greg Hardiman, the player, one of the 2 players on the bench, I think is him and Dame, maybe the 2 shortest players on the team. So there's no length waiting for them on the bench. Martin for 3, that's a miss. Tough shot there. Aces with the mid-range, that goes in. Aces pull within 2 here early in the first quarter. Jamario Rivers there, number 2, the star player for the Aces, played at the University of Memphis before playing in the ABA. I'm sure he played overseas and some other places as well. As we don't get a look at that, but I think the layup goes in for the Aces, and then Instigators will bring the ball right back up. Rogers misses, but good rebound there by LB, Lawrence Boyd. As we see JoJo Hart with the sidestep 3, gets the Instigators back in front. Instigators sticking with this 1-3-1 defense here. As the ball goes in there. So back and forth, both teams not afraid to make baskets early in this game. Looks like we're going to have a high-scoring game if we keep this pace up. Martin picks up his dribble. Now he'll go to Cap. Cap looks for someone to swing to. Doesn't see anyone. Now LB comes. LB gets fouled. This is a shorter court. It looks like, I believe, middle school size court. Again, the Aces had to find a court on short notice for this game. So the three-point line to the foul line are pretty close to each other. So something both teams will have to look out for to avoid backcourt violations. Shot by Nelson, and that goes in. Overran the defense there, but the shot is missed. Another rebound by JoJo Hart. He's doing a great job on the boards early in this game. Instigators up 14. Nice pass by Nelson. Instigators continue to swing it around. Ooh, turnover by Boyd. Just one too many passes there for the Instigators back down low. But good ball movement up till that. Great ball movement there. And the Aces get the easy lay-in. Nearly stolen instead. JoJo Hart will go up for an easy layup, and that falls. Nearly halfway done with this one already in the first, nearly halfway done with the first quarter, I should say. And Skaters up 4. Easy pass to Rivers. Rivers kicks it out to the open man for 3. No, but he'll get the rebound and put it in. Pulls his team within 2. Give the Instigators credit here. Hoosier State looks like they came ready to play in this one. Not a slow start like we're used to, which is a good sign for this one, we hope, as the game goes on. Nelson with a contested 3. That was a little bit of a heat check, I think. It doesn't go, and instead the Aces have the ball, and they're looking to score. Down low. Foul call on that. That's a tough foul call against Martin, but the bucket counts, and the I'm sorry, the bucket does not count, but the shooter will go to the line for 2 free throws. As we hit our first media timeout. So we'll be back right after this. 6 minutes, 17 seconds to go in the first quarter. Instigators up 2. When I built my home, they offered me all kinds of cookie cutter options for my basement, but I had a specific vision. So instead, I called Chris Shepard and his team at Shep's Quality Construction. They worked with me and built my dream basement on my budget. If you have a project that you need done, make sure that you call Shep and his team and see your vision become reality today. All right, we're back here in Nashville. Hoosier State 16, Nashville 14, but Aces look to tie it up here with 2 free throws. Fast start to this one, Jake.
Yeah, good start for the Instigators. Obviously, with this lineup, we're going to be shooting, it looks like, a lot more threes as Nashville hits that first free throw. But we've been able to convert pretty good and haven't allowed too many of those second chance opportunities yet for the Aces.
Yeah, absolutely. As they hit the second free throw there, it's all tied up. Hart will bring the ball up. A little bit of pressure by Nashville, but not a ton. Hart turns it over, but it's hit out of bounds, by Nashville, so it'll stay with the Instigators. Looks like Martin's here to inbound it. Gets it to Hart. Good cut there by LB. Over to Nelson. Nelson for 3. That doesn't go. Rebounded by LB. He'll go up. Doesn't get a foul there. Thought maybe he got bumped. It looked just as bad as the other one, but maybe not. as the Instigators come up empty-handed, and now Nashville takes the lead with the floater, 18-16. LB now running the court. Ball stolen there by Nashville. They'll go up for the bucket and the dunk. What a dunk there by Rivers. It's now a 2-point lead, Nashville's first lead of the game. Hart in a little bit of trouble here. Another turnover by the Instigators. The alley-oop goes. We get a timeout there by the Instigators. So we'll take a timeout as well. We'll be right back. More Instigators action right after this.
Mission 22 is dedicated to unite the country in the war against veteran suicide. Bringing our veterans home is every American's job. Ambassadors are creating impact in their community across the country. Mission 22 has comprehensive treatment programs for post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury at no cost to veterans. This is an American issue. No matter where you stand, there's a place for your support. Visit mission22.com to learn more.
All right, we're back here coming out of that timeout. Hanging on the rim like that, Jake, is usually a technical foul. We don't get the call there, unfortunately. And the Instigators down 6 after a quick 8-0 run by Nashville.
Yeah, we've seen techs called for much less than that after dunks. But I will give Coach Dom credit there for calling the timeout. Try to get the momentum stop there and regroup the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously with a shorter bench as well, those timeouts are even more important because they give your team an extra breather after traveling the 5-hour trip it took to get to Nashville. So we get a foul call. So it'll be a side out here for the Instigators. So it looks like we're about to get a substitution for the Aces. Shot there. I think you can hear from the sideline Instigators players counting down. That's because the shot clock is on the scoreboard or on the scoring table. I'm sorry, as that stays with the Instigator. That goes to the Instigators. So you can't see it from here. But there is a
Mission 22 is dedicated.
Whoops. That's why you don't hit buttons, Jake. Shout out to Mission 22. Anyway, shot clock is on the scorer's table. So there is one. We just can't see it in our frame. Nelson goes up. That doesn't go. Put back attempt doesn't fall. Aces keep the ball, get the fast break here. They throw it away as the Instigators look to go fast. Hart for 3. That doesn't fall. Stolen. That's a 3D attempt here. Martin up, and that's 3 and the harm. So a chance at a 4-point play for Martin here. That's big, Jake.
Yeah, definitely. First 3D opportunity and able to convert on that. And hopefully that swings the momentum back in the favor of the Instigators here.
Nelson hits it. So that's a 4-point play for the Instigators. Huge. Coming out of the 3D. So we get a we hit a media timeout. So we will go to a commercial for real this time. Instigators down 2, 22-20 in Nashville. We'll be back right after this.
Tough game, recovery is everything. At Fisher's Cryotherapy, the official cryotherapy provider for the Hoosier State Instigators, I use whole body cryo to reduce inflammation and recover faster. For injuries, their targeted treatments get me back in action. And when I want to look and feel my best, the cryofacial and infrared sauna do the trick. Fisher's Cryotherapy, my go-to for recovery. Book your session today.
All right, we're back. Here's the Aces bringing the ball up the court coming out of that media timeout. Good pick there by Malcolm Martin. He's going to take it up. Camera's not too interested apparently, but they get the bucket. Instigators up 2. Or I'm sorry, tied. Get 2 points off that shot, but they're tied here. 22-22, still over 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. As again, we're looking at a pretty high scoring affair between two teams that have a decent history with each other, as we see Rivers with the putback. Gives his team back in the lead. 3-pointer by the Instigators, no good. Now we got a 2-on-2 situation. Nice job there by Captain America to get the steal on the alley-oop attempt. Martin draws another foul. We'll see if they call that in the act of shooting. Certainly looked like it was to me. And they do indeed call it in the act of shooting. So Martin will get 2 free throws here at the line. He hits the first. Martin on the tear here to start this first quarter. Martin hits both shots. Three-point attempt by Nashville. No good. Rebounded by HSI as Captain America will bring the ball up now. Gets Nelson wide open for 3, and he buries it. You know he'll hit those if he's wide open. Nelson, maybe the most prolific shooter the Instigators have ever had. And that's counting LaJuan Whitley from last year. As the Aces tie it up with a 3 of their own. Kick out. Rogers misses that one. The Aces look to take the lead back. Floater in the middle of the lane, no good. Rivers, again, just using his size. Gets a tough bucket there. He's just going to be a tough matchup for the Instigators all night long, just given his size and the fact the Instigators are forced to playing basically 5 guards the entire game. Martin for 3. He buries it. No, they call it a 2. So it's 29-29. Great shot nonetheless for Martin. Tipped out. JoJo Hart goes up. Bucket goes. Instigators retake the lead. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Nearly out of bounds, but instead the Aces will get it. Ball gets knocked out of bounds and will stay with Nashville. Ball up, number 33 checks into the game for Rivers. He hits that one. Ties the game up. Minute 20 to go. LB with the athleticism gets fouled from behind. And so LB will go to the line for 2. Good move to get to the bucket, though, against the big man by LB. Showing off the athleticism of a 20-year-old. That bucket falls. Instigators now up 2. Floater goes in. Tie game. We approach a minute to go in the first quarter. Boyd looking for a hole, nothing, and so he'll pull out. Now he'll think again. He makes the pass just a little wide, and the Aces will get the ball. 3-point attempt, no good. Good rebound there by Captain America. Gets it to LB, and LB will bring the ball up the court, looking to lead the charge. 3-point attempt by Martin doesn't go. The Aces have the ball here. Still tied. They'll take a 3. That's an air ball. Inbounded by Instigators. That's technically should have been a quick throw in, but they're not going to allow it. So instead, the Instigators will slow it down. Whenever a team turns it over in the front court, that's a quick throw in, Jake, but the Instigators were slowed down for whatever reason there. That ball gets blocked. Stolen. That's a 3D attempt now for the Instigators. Hart will back it up, take his time. Got to get a good possession every 3D attempt if you're the Instigators. Down low, and that gets blocked. 3D again, and we get a foul. I believe that'll be on the floor, so Malcolm Martin with the steal to get the 3D attempt right back for the Instigators. Attempt. So once again, Instigators looking for the best possible possession with 32 seconds to go. Martin takes a tough 3. That was probably not the shot you want to take with that 3D attempt, Jake, but the Aces survived 2 3Ds, and now they'll take a 3-point attempt. And they hit it, so they take the lead 36-33 with 15 seconds to go. Instigators look to hold for the last shot, and instead they get fouled. $11 seconds to go, no shot clock, so the Instigators still have the opportunity for the last shot. I'll swing it around here. Shot blocked. Martin had to take that shot. And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. So we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll break down all the action there in the first quarter before going on to the second. Instigators down 33-36 to the Nashville Aces.
Hey fans, it's Frosty, co-owner of the Hoosier State Instigators. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast, but I want to take just a few seconds to let you know about our fan voter tier on our Patreon. There you can find all kinds of cool stuff like behind the scenes footage of practices and tryouts, early access to games and podcasts, and much, much more. On top of that, you become an official fan voter of the Hoosier State Instigators, where you can make key decisions in running the franchise. Things such as what uniforms do we wear, who stays, who goes at the end of the season, evaluate the players and coaches, and make decisions that will impact this franchise for a long time. So this is your chance to get off the bleachers and into the boardroom with us, the Hoosier State Instigators, at www.patreon.com/Apex Athletic Collective. Hope to see you there.
Hey, and speaking of that, tomorrow our fan voters, along with players, coaches, and owners, will get that end of season survey to put their impact on what they saw from the players, what they saw from the coaches, and what they think the priorities are going into the next season as we are getting ready to go into our second off season and then our third season. Can you believe it, Jake, already, of Hoosier State Instigators basketball?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's always one of my favorite things once we hit the off season to do that evaluation, to have the fans have the same exact say as what the owners and players have is, key to the Apex Athletic Collective.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to that as well, but we got some basketball to play first. So 36-33, Instigators down. A really good first quarter, I thought, offensively, and defensively, I thought they kind of just did the best they could. Given the size discrepancy between the Aces big men and the Instigators. We didn't see a ton of threes like that one. A lot of penetration by the Aces. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, for the most part, they were able to keep them in check. I think a thing to keep an eye on here as we go into the second is how fatigue starts setting in. I see Dame did check in for Levante.
Yeah, that's the first substitution of the game for the Instigators. Again, only 7 players on the bench if you're checking in, and all guards. So the Instigators are fighting an uphill battle here, down 6 against one of the best teams in the country, and frankly, one of the favorites to make the final 8 and even final 4 in the month of April. Hart with the bucket, so the Instigators respond right back, 35-39. Pass down low. Nearly blocked. They get a couple of putback attempts. Good defense by the Instigators. I'll tell you, it's not lack of effort underneath the basket for the Instigators. I think they're playing pretty hard on defense, which is good to see. Another missed shot by LB. Just probably try to do a little bit too much with it through the double team, but that'll happen sometimes. He's one of those guys that'll create and make those, so you'll take the ones that he misses. So they call a double dribble there on Captain America as we get a 3D opportunity now for the Aces. As we got an injury, Lawrence Boyd down. Hate to see this. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back and check in with LB in just a few seconds.
When I built my home, they offered me all kinds of cookie cutter options for my basement, but I had a specific vision, so instead, I called Chris Shepard and his team at Shep's Quality Construction. They worked with me and built my dream basement on my budget. If you have a project that you need done, make sure that you call Shep and his team and see your vision become reality today.
All right, we're back here. Luckily, Jake, Lawrence Boyd was able to walk off under his own power, so hopefully not too serious of an injury, not just because the Instigators only have 7 players to begin with, but because LB is a super important part to this team. You don't want to see any player get injured. So this is a 3D attempt then for the Aces on the turnover by Captain America on the double dribble in the backcourt. We're just waiting here to get underway. 4-point lead. Instigators doing a good job hanging with the Aces early despite the man advantage, both in size and number, as we see a handsome devil walking by. So we get back underway here. Nashville with the ball. Top of the arc shot. No good. Rebounded, though, by the Aces. You can shoot those threes and miss them when you got big men underneath that can get them. Foul call on Dame Wilburn. That was a good play by him, but unfortunately, looks like he got the arm, and instead, Nashville will go to the line for 2. So we'll see number 33 with his first free throws of the night. Meanwhile, Greg Hardiman has checked in for Lawrence Boyd, so now everybody on the bench has played. You see the first shot misses. Second shot also misses, so no, all foul, no harm there, Jake. It was a 3D opportunity, so they get one more shot there. Good catch by the referee. Because again, so there's the rule, right? We saw it go back and forth quite a bit, but if the team that's got the 3D maintains possession, the 3D is continuous. So that's why we get an extra shot here. Shot goes in, and he hits that one, so makes use of the 3D there. Instigators now will bring the ball up. Down 4. as Rogers was a little too nonchalant there with the ball. As the bucket goes in for Nashville. Double team now. Ball's knocked out of bounds. They'll stay with HSI. As Wilburn will get the throw in here. Three-point attempt by Hart misses. Air ball. Thinks about the three, doesn't go for it. Instead, we'll go to the basket. Goes for the tough shot. That doesn't go. Instigators get the rebound. Now Hardiman kicks it out over to Malcolm Martin for three. Martin takes the shot, but that doesn't go. And Nashville will bring the ball up. Still up 6. As we get the charge call, the charge magician himself, Malcolm Martin, draws another one, Jake. And the Instigators will take the ball out at the baseline. We get a substitution, Levante Nelson in for Captain America, Steve Rogers, who's played the entire game up to this point. So if nothing else, good minutes for the young rookies to get the feel of the ABA. Ball misses. That's taken away there. There's a scramble for it. 3D. Instigators get the possession. Martin goes up and he misses. Now Nashville off to the races. A little bit of a sloppy moment for both teams. And another charge. Hardiman this time taking the charge. This is the kind of hard-nosed defense you need to see from the Instigators in order to win this game. All right, can't throw it in yet, fellas. I appreciate the effort, but you got to wait till the referee calls the foul to the scores table. As Dame gives a little chuckle. Nearly stolen. Wilburn for three. That doesn't go. He thought he got fouled. Not sure what the call is there. Whatever it is, the Instigators will bring the ball out of bounds. In a quarter that's much more disjointed than the first quarter. As they reset the shot clock to 14, which is incorrect. Should be reset to 24 on any foul, as we just heard from the sideline. But we're used to it by now, Jake. Three-pointer missed. Doesn't matter if it's 14 or 24 when you take the first shot. Shot goes up. Aces missed. Nice rebound by Wilburn. Hoosier State backs it out. Hardiman thinks about it. Instead, he'll try to get it down low to Nelson. That's a turnover. The Aces get another bucket. .3D now for Nashville. The 4-point attempt is bricked. But they go for the putback. They don't get that either, so no 3D there for the Aces. Another 3D attempt for the Aces here, but they put the ball out of bounds. And now the Instigators take off using that quick throw-in rule by the ABA. And they hit the shot there. Nice job by Avante Nelson with the three-point shot. The Instigators close it back down to a 5-point lead. Three-point attempt goes. Nice shot under distress. To answer right back with a three of their own. 8-point lead now for Nashville. Nearly 5 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Another turnover by the Instigators. Three attempt goes. 3D, that's a three-pointer. And we get a timeout by the Instigators. So we'll take a timeout ourselves. We'll be back right after this with more Instigators action. Nashville up 52-38 here in the second quarter.
Mission 22 is dedicated to unite the country in the war against veteran suicide. Bringing our veterans home is every American's job. Ambassadors are creating impact in their community across the country. Mission 22 has comprehensive treatment programs for post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury at no cost to veterans. This is an American issue. No matter where you stand, there's a place for your support. Visit mission22.com to learn more.
All right, we're back here. There's some conversation going on about the score to make sure that they got the score correct. So it's 52-38, we believe. Instigators going through what I would call a bit of a sloppy possession or period here, Jake. Frankly, a lot of turnovers, a lot of just lazy passing is kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it seems like the fatigue's starting to catch up with them a little bit. But a lot of those turnovers there are resulting in 3D opportunities, and that's definitely not what you want as far as that goes. If you're going to have those turnovers, try to get that in the front court so you don't allow the opportunity for an additional point.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually updated the score. It's 53-39 now instead of 52-39. Instigators down 14, and what was a close game until about a minute ago, Jake. JoJo Hart brings the ball up. Nice job dealing with a little bit of pressure from the Aces. Nearly turns it over. And then Dame nearly turns it over, but it'll stay with the Instigators here. Nelson with the throw-in. Hart looking for a shot. Instead, he throws it over Hardiman's head. That's a turnover, and the Aces will bring the ball up here. Another turnover for the Instigators. Can't seem to get out of their own way here. Tough shot there by Rivers. It doesn't go. Nelson gets the ball across half court. Good pass there. Hart with the tough lay-in. That goes. Instigators finally get a bucket. They needed one. Bring it back to a 12-point game. That three, though, extends the lead for the Aces. Shot goes up. Hart gets another one. The Skaters down 13. Aces looking for a shot here. 3-point attempt. You can see it there. Hart just not quite enough. What I was trying to say there is you can see Hart bent over. Just not quite enough legs to get over and to play defense over there for Hart. So he's going to take a quick breather here. And the Skaters are about to inbound the ball here. Again, not sure what the delay was, but here we go. So again, another empty possession for the Instigators. 3-point attempt by the Aces doesn't go. Wilburn with the rebound. Nearly loses the ball. And he does. Quick throw in goes. Nice bucket there by Hardiman. Three-point attempt by the Instigators. No. Instead, they turn it over again. Another 3 by the Aces. Rebounded by Malcolm Martin. It's going to slow it down a little bit for the Instigators. Instigators are somehow, Jake, going too fast and too slow at the same time. Three-point attempt. Another one by the Aces. That'll go. As LB draws the foul, and he'll go to the line for 2. So we're going to take a media timeout. We'll be back right after this with more Instigators basketball. All right, we're back here. Instigators down 16 here. And what was, up until about midway through the second quarter, a pretty competitive game. But the turnovers now, and then the subsequent three-point attempts and breakaways have allowed Nashville to really gain a lot of momentum and pull this one into their favor. Instigators are going to have to dig down deep here with the last 4 minutes to go in this half before a break in order to try to close that gap up a little bit. All right, so LB will shoot that free throw now. He gets it. The Skaters get one, 64-49. It's a conversation going on with the scorers table, not quite sure what. Tough shot, but he takes it. He gets his own rebound out of bounds, and so the Instigators will get possession here. Trying to cut this lead down again in the last couple minutes before this one goes to half. Get a foul attempt, so that'll send, I believe, will send Martin to the line for 2. As Martin goes for the first shot here. Sinks it. He's been really good from the line tonight, Jake. Second shot. Falls. So he hits both. Instigators have cut the lead down to 13 now. Stolen there by Boyd. Unfortunately, the Instigators can't keep possession. Wilburn goes for another steal. Doesn't work out. Three-point attempt. No good. And Nelson gets the rebound. And he kicks it over to Wilburn. Wilburn for 3. And that falls. Instigators cut it down to a 10-point lead here. 3:37 to go in the half. Got a push in the back there that doesn't get called. Instead, they get the bucket. Wilburn for 3. That's short. Looked like it might have been off the Aces, but apparently Rivers didn't touch it. It's hard to tell from this angle. 3-point attempt, no good. Rebound by the Aces. No good again. We get a little bit of frame rate issues there, but the Instigators bring down the rebound. LB with the tough shot out to Martin. Martin with the mid-range shot. No good. The Aces will take it off. And you can tell the Aces can sense the fatigue from the Instigators as they've really picked up their pace here as they hit another 3. Just like that, Instigators back down to a 15-point lead, or 15-point deficit, I'm sorry. Nice shot there. The Instigators get 2 off the Martin shot. 3:24 left in this half. Aces think about a 3-point attempt, and instead they'll go for the tough spin. That gets blocked out of bounds by LB, and the Aces will keep possession. Ball didn't touch the rim, so they'll reset the shot clock to 7 seconds. Bounce pass across court. 3-point attempt wide open. He hits it. Martin up to LB. LB will bring it across court. He'll push the issue. Doesn't go. Captain tries for the rebound. It bounces off his hands, and the Aces are off and running again. Another 3 doesn't go, but they'll get their own rebound. And now we get a foul on Levante Nelson. So Aces will bring the ball out of bounds on the side. Shot. 3-point attempt, no good. Wilburn with the rebound. Almost got a little friendly fire there from Levante Nelson. 3-point attempts, no good. Captain America with the rebound. He goes right back to Nelson, who's not afraid to shoot it again. He puts it up, and that's 3. Instigators still hanging around here with 2 minutes to go against Nashville. And what's been a really high-scoring first half. Ball gets kicked out. Aces get it. Off balance 3, but that goes. Nice shot by the Aces player there. Oh, pass cut off. Good thought, but it doesn't go, unfortunately. Missed there on the alley-oop. The Instigators bring the ball up here. Well, it gets tipped out of LB's hand, so he'll keep possession here. Thought he was fouled there. It was Wilburn, but he wasn't. Another shot goes in there for the Aces. You see Rogers gets fouled there. So it looks like Wilburn will go, or I'm sorry, Rogers will go to the line for 2. As we get double technical fouls here. We saw it going on. Martin and Rivers jawing at each other a little bit, and they'll both get technical fouls, offsetting. We get a good shot of the backcourt here. Free throw goes. Instigators pull within 17. Minute 1 to go here in the first half, and what's been a second quarter dominated by the Aces, frankly. Rogers hits the second. Shot goes up and in for the Aces. Martin brings it up. He's going to go to the hoop. Doesn't quite get the basket to fall. Tries to get the steal on the back end. Doesn't work. And now the Aces just lose the ball, but it'll stay with them as it bounces off a Hoosier State player. 35 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Alley-oop goes. Down to Martin. 11 seconds to go. Instigators look like they're going to hold. No, they're going to go for the shot. They miss, but Rogers with the tip in. Nice job. 5 seconds to go in this one. Shot is no good, so we'll head to halftime. Instigators down 81-63 here in the second quarter. We'll be back right after this.
After a tough game, recovery is everything. At Fisher's Cryotherapy, the official cryotherapy provider for the Hoosier State Instigators, I use whole body cryo to reduce inflammation and recover faster. For injuries, their targeted treatments get me back in action. And when I want to look and feel my best, the cryofacial and infrared sauna do the trick. Fisher's Cryotherapy, my go-to for recovery. Book your session today.
Hey fans, it's Frosty, co-owner of the Hoosier State Instigators. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast, but I want to take just a few seconds to let you know about our fan voter tier on our Patreon. There you can find all kinds of cool stuff like behind the scenes footage of practices and tryouts, early access to games and podcasts, and much, much.
All right, apparently our commercials are struggling a little bit today, Jake.
It seems so.
But that's all right. We're here for halftime. Instigators down 81-63, an 18-point deficit. Second quarter got a little rough there for us, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you could definitely see the fatigue starting to set in. And Aces, they've got Jamario, one of the best guys down low in the league, but they also have more height and depth, and you could really see the difference there in the second quarter.
Yeah, you saw three guys that kind of, were bigger than about everybody on our roster that come in, cycle through. That's tough to go against. You see the alley-oops coming in. That's tough to go against. We have Rogers, who's decent height-wise, but also doesn't play like a big man, right? Plays much more like a small forward, likes to shoot the ball, likes to dribble the ball, doesn't play a whole lot down low. So that's a tough matchup for him. And so what you see Levante Nelson playing down low. You see Dame playing down low, which they can do. But when you're playing against a really talented team like the Aces, that's a tall order. You mentioned in the second quarter you felt like fatigue was setting in a little bit. What'd you see there that kind of gave you that impression?
Yeah, definitely a lot more turnovers there in the second quarter. We had that run there where there was a lot of 3D opportunities for the Aces, turnovers in the backcourt. Anytime we do that, that's going to be, key to the other team. Whoever takes advantage of those 3D opportunities can go on a run.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we saw there. And then the Aces, which I felt like we did, again, a really good job in the first quarter of stopping, took off in the second quarter, making three-pointer after three-pointer, which has been a recipe for disaster for the Instigators all season. And it's just been exacerbated, I think, by the fatigue. We saw a couple times where JoJo Hart, a really good defender for us, normally had a hard time getting over to somebody shooting a three just because his legs aren't there. Again, playing a back-to-back, playing down, basically with half a roster, right? Normally you take 12 players to a game. We're at 7. Tough order for them. But, offensively, though, I thought they looked good. 63 points in the half, roughly the same amount of points in both quarters. So shots were still falling. You'd like to see what happened. What we saw, I think, was differently in the first quarter versus the second quarter. In the first quarter, empty possessions happened, and then the other team would get in the half-court set. In the second quarter, if we didn't score, it's because we were turning the ball over, not because we weren't making the bucket, right? Which led to fast breaks and easy buckets for the Aces. So, I think, barring, this is just my opinion, barring something where the Instigators really dig deep and find something, this may be a long second half for the Instigators. Feels like the Aces are kind of hitting their stride and finally seeing what their advantages, both in height and just stamina, as we've seen them run up and down the court a lot more in that second quarter. Instigators got to dig deep to keep up with that because the Aces are too good of a team, I think, to let that type of advantage go by. Is that your assessment as well?
Yeah, I think honestly, with the fatigue and the limited roster we have, timeouts are going to be kind of key in the second half here. You got to try to limit, the fatigue set in. There's only so many timeouts we can call, but taking advantage of those media timeouts and then trying to get your guys breathers in those needed times. Obviously, when they go on those runs and they have the slam dunks, that's big momentum swings, and you don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I don't want to say that to take away from any of the players on the court. I think they're playing their tails off, and I can see the effort there. So nothing to take away from the 7 guys on the court. It's just hard to play a professional basketball game with 7 players, which is why most teams don't do it if they can avoid it. So let's head back out to Nashville. Let's see how the regular season ends for the Instigators here. Down 81-63 again at halftime. We'll be back right after, hopefully, these commercial breaks, Jake.
After a tough game, recovery is everything. At Fisher's Cryotherapy, the official cryotherapy provider for the Hoosier State Instigators, I use whole body cryo to reduce inflammation and recover faster. For injuries, their targeted treatments get me back in action. And when I want to look and feel my best, the cryofacial and infrared sauna do the trick. Fisher's Cryotherapy, my go-to for recovery. Book your session today.
Hey fans, it's Frosty, co-owner of the Hoosier State Instigators. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast, but I want to take just a few seconds to let you know about our fan voter tier on our Patreon. There you can find all kinds of cool stuff like behind the scenes footage of practices and tryouts, early access to games and podcasts, and much, much more. On top of that, you become an official fan voter of the Hoosier State Instigators, where you can make key decisions in running the franchise. Things such as what uniforms do we wear, who stays, who goes at the end of the season, evaluate the players and coaches, and make decisions that will impact this franchise for a long time. So this is your chance to get off the bleachers and into the boardroom with us, the Hoosier State Instigators, at www.patreon.com/Apex Athletic Collective. Hope to see you there.
All right, second half about to get underway here. It's not a 20-minute quarter. It'll be a 12-minute quarter. It'll also be the third quarter, so we'll wait for the scoreboard to get right. But, we've talked about this before, Jake, you and I, and most Instigator games, and it's been proven correct over and over again. A 18-point deficit is not the end of the game, the way the ABA rules are set up. So the Instigators, again, if they can get hot, if they can stop turning the ball over, I think they got a chance to come back. But the key is to not do what they just did right there, which is turn the ball over for a fast break for the other team as they make the layup there. Shot is blocked there. No, they'll call the foul. So Malcolm will go to the line for 2. That is something that Malcolm in particular is really good at, getting the Instigators to the line, scoring points when the clock isn't running, which is something that is super important, as we all know who watch basketball. For a team that's behind by a large enough score, which is 20 points right now, to come back. Martin will take the free throw here. He hits it again. Been really good from the line. He and Levante Nelson have been carrying the offensive strategies for the Instigators. You see the second one fall. Aces now looking for their opportunity. 3-point attempt. That falls. Good shot in rhythm there, even with a hand in his face. They extend the lead to 21. The largest lead of the game now for the Aces. Hart thinks about the 3 instead of his hesitation. He'll look. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. And that'll go to the Aces. Hard to tell from this angle who that went off of, but the referee said it went off the Aces. We'll take their word for it as they take the air ball 3 there. It doesn't go, and unfortunate. You saw the Instigators boxing out. Just had a player running under the basket on an air ball, is able to catch it straight out of the air. Martin tries to get the bucket. That doesn't go. He does get the offensive rebound after a couple putback attempts. Finds LB. Goes over to Nelson. Nelson misses a three there. And the Aces, once again, look for a quick three of their own. They miss it. LB, Lawrence Boyd with the rebound. He's going to bring the ball up. Kicks it over to Hart. Hart over to Captain America for three. Instigators working the arc here as Martin hits another one. Instigators keep the lead down to a 20-point lead for their opponents. Missed shot there by the Aces. Blocked shot there. Aces save the ball. They'll keep possession. Stolen there by Hart. Nice job. Martin cleans it up. He gets clobbered there. And he'll take the foul. Shot goes up. No good. Bucket goes in. So Nelson will get the shot here. Nice job with the and one attempt. Tough layup there by Nelson, but he gets it to go. And now a chance at a three-point play for Nelson the old-fashioned way. He hits that bucket. Shot nearly blocked. No, they're going to call a foul on the Instigators instead. So the Aces will go to the line for two now. Shot goes in. Second free throw also falls. Skaters now bringing the ball up the court. 2 minutes already gone here in the third quarter. Little two-man game there. They kick it out instead of Nelson. Nelson for three. No, but rebounded by Lawrence Boyd. He's going to try to attack the basket and say he'll kick it out to Captain America for three. He misses. That's no good. LB now for three as we're back and forth here. He hits that one. That's a turnover out of bounds there by the Aces. And Hoosier State will bring the ball out. That's a quick throw-in situation for them. They kick it around, find JoJo Hart wide open for three. That doesn't go. Looked like he stepped over the line there, but apparently not. Three-point attempt by the Aces goes. Bucket goes in there for Nelson. Aces get the screen and roll here. They call a push on Nelson. So the Aces will take the ball out of bounds here. Up 93-76. Bucket goes in there. Boyd with the shot. No good, and the Aces kick it back out again for a quick shot. Tough layup goes in. Aces extend the lead back to 21 to tie their largest lead of the game. Nelson thinks about shooting it. Instead, he'll go cross court to Martin. Good fake there. He gets blocked. Rebounded by Nelson. That doesn't go. Second shot blocked. No, they're going to call a foul. So Nelson will go to the line for two. Nice job by Nelson to stay persistent there and get the free throw attempts. So we hit a media timeout. So we'll be back right after this with more Hoosier State Instigators action here on our Hoosier State Instigators YouTube and Apex Athletic Collective Twitch. We'll be back right after this.
When I built my home, they offered me all kinds of cookie cutter options for my basement, but I had a specific vision, so instead, I called Chris Shepard and his team at Shep's Quality Construction. They worked with me and built my dream basement on my budget. If you have a project that you need done, make sure that you call Shep and his team and see your vision become reality today.
All right, we're back here. Instigators down 21, 7:02 to go here in the third quarter. Instigators hanging tough despite the fatigue. Wouldn't you say, Jake?
Yeah, valiant effort. I mean, offensively, it's been a pretty decent game. Just got to try to limit those opportunities for the Aces here as we hit that first free throw.
Nelson with the second free throw. That falls as well. We get a substitution. Nelson out for Dame Wilburn. After Nelson cuts it down to a 19-point deficit to the Nashville Aces. Top 10 ranked team in the ABA. Another shot here. Three-point attempt goes. Aces are getting more wide open three-point attempts as we get a 3D here. No, the Instigators get it back, so they stop the 3D. Nice job finding the cutting man there. Misses, but the putback by Captain America. You got to see a lot more of that. Love to see it from our guy there, Captain America. Ball's out of bounds on the Aces. That's a quick throw in. Again, the referee holds it, so Instigators will bring the ball up. Shot no good by Hart, but rebounded by Captain America. He gets it down to LB, who gets the putback and puts it in. Aces go for the floater. That doesn't go. Wilburn with the rebound. He gets it over to Captain America, who gets it taken away. Deep past the other side. That goes. It's back down to a 20-point deficit. So all that good work undone by the Instigators from the last few possessions, although we get a foul there. So Wilburn to the line for two. Shot goes up. No good. Tipped out there. Nearly falls, but that's a miss. Aces bring the ball up. Nearly stolen. Good spin move there, and he gets the bucket. Thought he was going to lose it. Instead, he gets the basket. Makes it 104-82. As you can see, our scoreboard was knocked just a little off kilter. Something we're going to have to figure out how to fix next year, Jake, is to make sure that the camera's not hit. As that goes in. As we get a foul against the Instigators. Aces get a wide open three-point attempt. Doesn't fall, and LB, Lawrence Boy with the rebound. He kicks it over to Dame Wilburn. Wilburn over to Martin. It goes just right through his hands, unfortunately. And the Aces get the turnover. They'll bring it up with 4 minutes to go. As they hit another three there, 107-84. Instigators now facing their largest deficit of the game, 23. LB goes up. No good. Aces get the ball poked from behind. They recover, however. Go down to the big man who gets the easy dunk. Another steal there. 3D opportunity. No good. And but it will stay with Nashville. Their 3D opportunity is still alive. Layup goes. So we get a little bit of frame rate issues. Not sure what happened there, but the Instigators are now down 30, 114-84. As we get a timeout. So we're going to take a quick timeout as well. We'll be back right after this.
Mission 22 is dedicated to unite the country in the war against veteran suicide. Bringing our veterans home is every American's job. Ambassadors are creating impact in their community across the country. Mission 22 has comprehensive treatment programs for post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury at no cost to veterans. This is an American issue. No matter where you stand, there's a place for your support. Visit mission22.com to learn more.
Hey fans, it's Frosty, co-owner of the Hoosier State Instigators. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast, but I want to take just a few seconds to let you know about our fan voter tier on our Patreon. There you can find all kinds of cool stuff like behind the scenes footage of practices and tryouts, early access to games and podcasts, and much, much more. On top of that, you become an official fan voter of the Hoosier State Instigators, where you can make key decisions in running the franchise. Things such as what uniforms do we wear, who stays, who goes at the end of the season, evaluate the players and coaches, and make decisions that will impact this franchise for a long time. So this is your chance to get off the bleachers and into the boardroom with us, the Hoosier State Instigators, at www.patreon.com/Apex Athletic Collective. Hope to see you there.
Well, Jake, as usual, technology issues thwarted us again. The camera actually cut out there with about 2 minutes to go. The Instigators down 30. What we saw, though, at the end of that game, for those of you that were in attendance or watched it live, Instigators lost 139-165, which is a 26-point deficit. So didn't miss a whole lot. A lot of back and forth kind of from there as the Aces put in their backups and reserves. Sorry for all the viewers that didn't get to see the end of that one. But honestly, you didn't miss much, Jake. Am I right in that?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, there is. I don't know the official count because obviously we had some technical difficulties, but I think we may have had the scoring record broken in the game as well.
We did actually, and I looked it up in the book because I have the book here. And so Levante Nelson broke the scoring record that was set by Lawan Whitney and Dylan, I think, tied beforehand at 35, but he scored 42 points in that game. Heck of a game by him. And honestly, 139 points. The offense was clicking. They just didn't have anything defensively. So the Instigators finished the season at 7-10, basically the same record that we had last year. The 4 seed again in our division, the exact same seed we had last year. And then you and I will stream soon, right? The game between the Instigators and the Wisconsin Frost. The winner of that goes to the playoffs, as the Wisconsin Frost dominated the Chicago Rebels in the first round of the playoff play-in. We got a bye for that being the top seed. So that'll be a home game against a really good Wisconsin Frost team and what's been a really competitive division the entire year. Lots of really good basketball players, lots of really good basketball teams, lots of really good owners playing together. So it's been fun. What's kind of your take on the regular season as we close out the second regular season in Instigators history?
Yeah, obviously some ups and downs. We finished with the same number of wins as last season at 7. But I think this season was a lot different in the fact that we started off, I feel like we started off kind of hot and then kind of slowed down there towards the end. We did have 2 big wins, though, against top 10 teams. Obviously, that first one against the Aces. And then against the Lions, we had a victory as well. And I think that Lions victory, that's a huge one for us. That's a team that I think we always kind of compare ourselves to, and for us to finally be able to get that victory, I think that was a big stepping stone for the Instigators this season.
Yeah, I think we faced a lot more adversity off the court this year than we did last year, which will help us grow in the long run. A lot of learning moments for us as owners. And for us as a franchise. And so I'm excited, as you said earlier, to see what the fans say over the next couple of weeks. The survey will drop tomorrow for fan voters. It's at $10 tier, and it will be available until I think the 20th or 21st. So you got a little under 3 weeks to get that in. Make sure you let us know your thoughts. The season never ends for the Instigators, right? The season's over by this point that you're watching now, but preseason is just beginning, right? We got to get ready for next year, and so we'll be doing that, and we'll start that process in earnest on Monday. Lots of cool things to announce, though, for the Instigators going forward. I think we'll have an announcement maybe as early as next week over our plans to help develop referees in the ABA. And then as well, some other things. Just tryouts will come up and things like that throughout the summer. So lots of Instigators action still to go. Hopefully some kids camps this year. But on the court, the regular season comes to an end. 7-9, 7-10. Play in both seasons. Like to get to the playoffs straight away somehow next year. But overall, I thought a good season on the court, a decent season on the court, and a lot of learning off the court. So. Until next time, let's catch them for the play-in game here soon, Jake. But until next time, be great, instigate. Thanks, everybody.